Oh, dude, that's like that's the type of shit that make you smile a little. Good morning, good morning. What up, that boy Jerome? What's good? It's Friday. We made it, partner. Good morning, good morning. What up, that boy Jerome? Uh oh. All right. All right, man. It's a blessing to be alive. I'm glad we all made it. Let's see if we can't squeeze a few more dollars out of this market this week. And what a week it was, right? Real interesting. I'm just glad we didn't have any any real big losers or anything like that. So all right, let's talk about it. So the SPY came down to the lower Bollinger Band, and also a key level, which is 437, and it found support. So as long as we can continue to hold 437, SPY is okay. if we start to get back below 437, now things are starting to look ugly again, in my opinion, and we should continue to see like more downside. And to be honest, we may even come all the way back down to 4.25. So, we really need today to kind of tell us what direction the market is going to go. But we just take it, one good trade at a time. All right, let's take a look at QQQ. I saw IWM was down this morning. It was around that 210 level, which is a support level for it. QQQ was actually down this morning. It was at like 363 and change. Looks like it's popped a little bit now. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not quite convinced that it's going to push higher just quite yet. So again, we'll take it as we see it. All right, let me go ahead and shorten up this list, and let's dive into Apple real quick. Let's start going through our names, going through our charts. All right, Apple was down about 30 minutes ago. It was at 146, like 60 something. I see that it's up to 147. To be honest with you, I'd probably sell this rip again. I'd probably add more puts. What up? What up, Ryan House? Good morning, my man. But yeah, so what I'm seeing with Apple, we're going to open up around this 147.20 level, which is resistance. And I'd expect this resistance to hold. I mean, in my opinion, the bears are in control. We had a 3-candle turnaround. And now, the bulls are just trying to hold on, really. They're trying not to lose control. So I think, we'll see a little bit of fighting here first before they submit. But if we get Apple underneath 145, it's a wrap. All right, then we should really get that, that 10-point move to the downside that I'm looking for to push us down here towards 136 to 134. So I would just say if you're going to hop into puts and you're not in lottos, meaning they expire today, consider like September 3rds, just pay that little bit of extra just so you don't have so much worry about the contract working next week. But like 145 Apple puts for September 3rd, those kind of make sense to me. Maybe even the 143s if you want to live a little dangerous. All right, so just consider that. All right, yesterday with NEO, we called 37 puts when price was, near the highs of yesterday's candle. I want to say it was around 38 or 37 and change at minimum. So those contracts ended up closing in the money. Obviously we closed at 36.29, so we were past that 37 level. And to be honest, I was expecting a gap down here again today, because once this starts kind of gapping, it continues to kind of do that. But maybe it's just going to be a slow grind down towards 34 and then potentially 32. So still feeling bearish about NEO until otherwise. I mean, it's bearish right now. That's just all to it. All right, Tesla. Elon Musk always come with his bullshit. He always got something. So yesterday, here, let me zoom in on this. Apparently yesterday, he came out with the Tesla robot. So he's like, all right, we're going to put the artificial intelligence from the Tesla cars that's been, running people into the back of semi trucks. We're going to put that into a humanoid robot. Okay. And not only that, but then he said the shit was going to be ready next year. All right, homie. So I'll just let you tell the story. But anyway, I think that's why we might have some type of little pop here on Tesla this morning. But to be honest, there's no real market moving news on this name. Hopefully, what happens is that we continue to, to some degree to stay under pressure. Because if you look at these last two candles, they kind of tell a story, right? Well, actually, you know what? If we look at the last five, so we had a nice down move. This was about 80 points. You had people that were short take profits. So that caused a push up. Price pushed up into a key resistance level, and resistance held, and we got pushed down. We actually gapped down. Now this morning looks like we're going to gap up, but we're still going to be held down by resistance here, 688, 655. So as long as we can kind of stay underneath those levels, I'm expecting price to kind of continue to either hover in between 675 and 685, or actually roll all the way over down towards 640. So keep that in mind. I think we'll, I think we have the possibility to have a nice strong down day here with Tesla, especially because it's Friday, and a lot of the time the market doesn't like to hold risk over the weekend. And this has been considered risk off week all week. So I'd be real surprised for this one to pop unless we just see strength across the whole market. All right, so we'll see what happens. But I might, excuse me, I might look at the Tesla Lottos for puts myself today. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, AMC. All right, AMC is about even. We got into this one not yesterday, but the day before. Price was above that key level we had been watching, which is 3702. And the upper Bollinger Band is holding us down right now. I continue to remain bullish, partly so because I saw, what was that, like 2.7 million worth of September 17, 38 calls purchased on this day 2 days ago. So, if those guys can hold through a pullback, fuck it, I can hold through a pullback. All right. So if you had 2.7 million on the line with calls, right, and then it pulled back and you're down 25%, you're probably not cutting that. All right. You're probably like, yo, I got September 17, so I got some time. I'm going to just let this shit play out. So I'm going to assume that with their money being a little bit longer than mine, and that probably buys them access to some good information, I would assume that AMC is still going to make its move. But like I said earlier in the week, it's probably going to take a few more days, and that will push us into next week. So I'm just continuing to hold my AMC calls, and I'm going to just ride it out. All right. Planeteer. Planeteer still playing games, trapped in between this 25.50 and this 24 level. We did come right back down to the upper Bollinger Band yesterday. So, we should expect a bounce off of that level. Let's see if we don't get one. And an ideal situation would be for us to close above 25.42. And if we could do that, now we're looking for price to head up towards 27.40. And if we can get above that, then we're looking for a big breakout and a move up to 37. So just continue to stay patient here on Planeteer. All right, guys, while I'm going through these names in the charts, feel free to give me an idea if you want to look at anything specifically in the chat as well. All right. Nvidia. Now, we have been staying hands off from Nvidia because they had earnings coming up this week. And it's a good thing that we did because earnings was a mess. So if you look back at the past 2 quarters, 2 quarters ago, they reported $3 a share, $3.10. The next quarter, they reported $3.66 a share. And then this recent quarter, they reported $1. All right. So that's a huge drop off, like, 60% or more as far as what they reported for earnings. So by all accounts, that's not bullish. That's bearish for sure. So I would definitely expect for Nvidia to remain under pressure. Right now, it's being held down by the 205 level as well as the 200 level. We want to kind of see it stay underneath 200. And if we're lucky, price will fall back down towards 193.75 and then make its way on, down to 189. Now, if we break 189, it's a wrap. And we should probably expect for this one to fall down towards 175 at least. All right. All right, let's take a look at AMD. AMD is pulling back. Let me zoom in on it. It's pulling back into resistance this morning. Let me zoom in a bit. All right. Well, first thing is first, I have been calling for AMD 100 puts for next week. So I'm still confident in those. I still feel like those will definitely hit. What we have to see, though, is for price to get underneath this 102.95 or 103 level. If we can get below that, then boom, the next stop is 100, no question. All right, we could even fall down as far as 97. But for the meantime, I don't know why we're kind of getting this little morning bounce in stocks this morning. But, if things do roll over, we're looking for AMD to get underneath 103. Then we could step in and, secure more puts if you want. All right, so that's the game plan for AMD. Looking at next week's contracts, the 100s, and we're basically selling any rips, just very similar to Apple. All right, Robin Hood. I was supposed to do a video on this one yesterday, but it didn't work out, so I gotta continue to work on it today. But when you play names like these IPO names, because this one has only been out since July 29th. Okay, cool. All right, sweet. I'll go through a bunch of names. All right, I'll go through Facebook next. When you play these IPO names, you really have to play it like support and resistance for real. So you can see I've marked off all of these levels, and you basically just play it just straight up level to level. Like, you can't really get too fancy with it because there's not really a whole lot of data for you to work off of. And matter of fact, we need at least 20 candles for us to be able to get Bollinger Bands in the first place. That's why you don't see those on the chart. All right, so until we can get our Bollinger Bands and everything else to show up on the chart, we just have to, play it like the Stone Age and just, just trade off of pure support and resistance. So as you can see, we were able to identify resistance here by marking off this close at 50.97, and look at how it's held so far. Came down to it, retested it, pushed back off of it, retested it, pushed back off of it. Where do you think we headed to next? Our next level down below, which is 40.25. So even though we're up a little bit this morning at 45.70, still expecting for this one to roll back over and head down towards 40.25. I think you could take a look at September 3rd contracts if you want, the puts, the 40 puts. So that's just one thing to kind of keep in mind. All right. And Nikola, let's give this one another day to see if it doesn't pan out. We kind of got smacked yesterday. I didn't look at the chart, but we're up this morning a few pennies. So let's see if it doesn't turn around. All right, let's take a look at Facebook. All right, Facebook, still exactly the same. All right, still exactly the same. What we want to see is price pretty much stay below 355.64. So keep in mind in the chat, I sent out the screenshot that basically showed us that Mark Zuckerberg sold 54 million worth of Facebook shares on between August the 17th and August the 18th. So that was this week. And what you basically have to just kind of think about it is like this, right? If I sold 27 million worth of stock here at 360, there's kind of an invisible wall there, right? Because you're going to need for somebody to spend 27 million or more in order for price to break up back through that level, right? So the fact that he sold at 360 and at 357, it's kind of built a wall in here, right? You may not be able to, obviously you can't see it, but there's like an invisible wall. So unless you have a big investor coming here with 54 million or more to push this thing back up, it's pretty much cooked, in my opinion. All right, so as long as price stays below, 357 for sure, and if we're talking support and resistance, then this key level of 355.64, then I'm just expecting for this one to roll over. This also is one that we called for puts yesterday, lottos. So I'm just looking for this one to work out today. Let me get that 5-point move, please. And then potentially that move down to 348.50. And, my work here is done. All right. So I'll just continue to stay patient and let it play out. But I'm still very much bearish here. Netflix, Jerome, we went over Netflix yesterday, bro. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. All right, Netflix. We still want to get price over 556.55. That's that next key level. Now, if you don't want to wait that long and you want to start to scale in a bit early, then you need to wait for price to get over 548.73. All right, 548.73. If you can get above that, which has been the highest close over the past roughly 3 months, 3 to 4 months. All right. If you can get over 548.73, now this is pushing higher, and you'll be running into the key level above that at 556. If you can get above 556, probably a really good chance for us to push towards 565, if not and or 575. I would say within a day to two tops. All right, but be careful with this one. I know this move right here was caught us off guard unexpectedly, but definitely continue to trade this one the right way because it can be very tricky. All right, so make sure you wait for that move above really like 549 to get involved, or to begin buying calls here. Now above 549, you're good. But if you break above it and break back below it, be worried. All right, be concerned for sure. All right, let's take a look at Baba. I haven't looked at this one in a little bit. Yeah, I don't get involved in stuff like this. This is just falling through the floor, and I'm not one of those traders that try to catch falling knives. And this is like the definition of a falling knife. All right. Even yesterday's candle was bearish, closed bearish. Like maybe potentially had we closed with a candle like this, that's bullish, maybe I could get involved with the narrative of like, oh, okay, we could step into this. But no, the only thing I could say is this: earnings was improved from the previous quarter. So the last quarter earnings were 147. This past earnings report was 173. So that's definitely an increase. So they made more money. However, I'm definitely not ready to step in here. I got no trades for this one. There's nothing I could really finagle to be like, yeah, if we do this or if the chart does that, we can hop into this. I got nothing there. All right, let's take a look at Wish. All right, Wish is still on the way down, like we talked about, right? So, it's bearish until it's not. So right now it's definitely still bearish. It needs to turn around, man. We need like some type of bottoming candle to come in here. So bottoming candle would be something like a doji like this, or either like this right here, or I don't see any other good examples here. Maybe like a candle like this. All right. But we need some type of blue or some type of green candle to come on in here to say, hey, maybe we've potentially stopped falling. All right. So right now, this one is still bearish until, it prints a bullish candle. Now, it is trying to slow down a little bit. I could see that. However, we got to wait until it really shows up on the chart all the way. All right, let's take a look at Pfizer. All right, now with Pfizer, remember. Okay, a couple things to take note of, right? Number one, we've had really high volume on a bearish day, okay? So you got to take note of that when you see this. So look at all of these. Look at this whole up move, right? This whole big old up move. And why is it that the highest volume was on this down day? Okay. Generally, that happens at a reversal point. All right. So when we see a big move like this with a wick that's just, printed up into the sky and you see nothing to the left, that's generally indication that prices had a hard stop. All right. So price was moving up along, moving. Then boom, it tried to make its way up to 52 and got rejected hard. All right. So not only did it get rejected, but it gapped down the following day, just to let you know, in case you were thinking the bulls were still in control. It just reminded you, hey, the bulls are not in control right now. All right. So until the bulls step back in and take over this chart, we got to continue to stay, very cautious, right? So my thinking would be we're either going to remain sideways here and hold this 48.20 level if this, in fact, indeed is really firm support. But to be perfectly honest, my expectation is that we probably lose this 48.20 level and then we head back down to 45.68. Now, the reason I think we're going to go back down to 45.68 is because if you take a look at the quarterly chart, you'll see that this is the real level that price had been trying to break for 20 years. And so I have a hard time imagining that Pfizer is going to push any higher without retesting this level that's 20 years old, because it'll retest everything else, right? So any other level that we've broken before, it likes to kind of retest it first and then push higher. And I just have, again, a very hard time thinking that price is not going to revisit this 45.68 level first before pushing higher, because this level literally was intact, holding this chart down for literally 20 years or more. Okay, so just keep in mind the key level is going to be 45.68, and my expectations is for price to come back down to this level first before continuing higher. All right. Now, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, then if price gets back over 50.42, then it's going to try to push higher. All right. So you want to see price break and hold 50.42 in order for Pfizer to push higher. But in the meantime, again, my expectations are, because you have such a bearish candle with volume at a high or at a key level, so to speak, like 50, right? My expectation is that this thing is going to cool off a bit more, break below 48.20, and head back down towards 45.70. All right. That's Pfizer. Let's take a look at Clove. Bearish, right? Bearish for now. Now, you definitely want to pay close attention to this one because it broke down and closed below the lower Bollinger Band. So if you do have any calls on this one, that was your signal to cut them. All right. So the Bollinger Bands are really, really, really tight. And we talked about it before. We said, hey, whenever price closes beyond the bands after a squeeze, that's the direction you should be looking for price to head to. So what happened was that instead of us getting a close above the upper band, we got a close below the lower band. So in my opinion, that's the direction of the chart. All right. So right now, Clove is showing us that it wants to be bearish and it wants to push down further. So that is the expectation there. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at Honeywell. And yeah, Jerome, the market is green a little bit right now. But just like I know, that thing can roll over real quick. All right, real quick. Honeywell, this one was, a pump fake or a setup that basically didn't work out. Price tried to push up through these key levels. This is a lot of resistance here. Some key resistances all kind of clustered near each other, really creating a firm brick wall here on Honeywell. So until we can get a candle that really closes above like 234, then Honeywell is probably going to be stuck, if not heading back down to the downside. Now, I do expect it to bounce, but at the same time, it needs to break above 234 before it really gets going. All right, so that's Honeywell. And let's take a look at Boeing. All right. So Boeing is probably going to be trying to fight with this 214 level today, I would imagine. If it cannot get back above 214, they were looking for it to head back down towards 206. So this one might be a decent day trade today. We'd probably have to watch it off of the lower time frames to catch it. But look for price to stay below 214. If price gets above 214, I'm not trying to hop into calls and trying to look for the 221 level. I'm probably just leaving it alone because I would probably consider that really more sideways movement than anything. Let me zoom in on it a little bit because this is kind of hard to see. All right. So what I want to see here with Boeing is for price to almost open up, come up to 213.80, 214, find some weakness, and then roll back over and come on down towards 206. I'm just mad that we didn't catch this 20-point move. All right, because Boeing pays so well, and this has just been a beautiful move the whole way. All right, just gap down, gap down, gap down, gap down, gap down. Like, I mean, come on, dude. We should have been shorting this the whole time. All right, let's take a look at PayPal real quick. PayPal kind of gave me a little bit of false hope yesterday. I was thinking about calling it towards the end of the day, but I was looking for price to close above 271.72, and that's not what happened. So I'll continue to stay patient, stick to my plan. And if we can get a move above 271.72, then I'll take a look at September 17, 300 calls for us, which they should be below $1 now, I think. Let's just take a look at those. I'm sorry. Looking at September 17th. One sec. Yeah, they are. They're below $1 now. So I'd be looking at these, the 300s. But again, I need price to tell me for sure that we're going to push back up. All right. And let's look at beyond before the market opens. You guys got anything else you want me to take a look at? All right, Beyond continues to push down. This one is very similar to Neo. What we're looking for now is the gap fill here between, there was a gap that was printed on 5/21 to 5/24, right? So May 21 to May 24th. And we're just looking for the gap to be filled there. And the gap level is 109.36, which is marked out on the chart here. So just looking for continuation down to that support level. All right. All right. Looks like the market's going to open up in 1:40. So when it does, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of watch lists we got going, and let's see if anything pops up. For the most part, I don't really have any targets this morning of anything that I'm looking at specifically. Oh, you know what? I do want to look at the pre-market movers real quick. Let me see if there's anything on that list. One second here. Planeteer. There we go. Maybe that'll move today. Okay, I see why you took a look at Apple there. I mean, at Baba there. My bad. All right, Wish is up there. AMC. Again, all of the meme stocks are getting like some pre-market activity, and they have for the last couple of days. Personally, my belief is that the meme stocks are starting to heat up. And even though they've been down, I think they will start to bottom and push higher. And I think a lot of the names that we're used to trading, like Apple and whatever else, will start to push down. Just because that's been the pattern that I've seen before in the past. So we'll take a look and see if it plays out. But that's more or less my thought process. All right, let me go back to the market overview. All right, market opens in 8 seconds. Let's go. Oh, wow. We did get those nice movement in all of this crypto stuff. So we'll be looking at crypto end of day here, guys. All right. Seeing if crypto doesn't bottom. And when we have a bottom, this is the type of move that we want to see. All right. We want to see a candle print. Then we want to see price break above that candle the following day. And if so, then that gives us the indication that, hey, now we're starting to get higher highs. Maybe this can continue to push. All right. So maybe BT pushes up towards 14 today. Maybe not. I'm not ready to step into any crypto yet. I'm just simply identifying kind of what's happening here. All right. Let me take a look through this list, see what we got shaking. All right. Not seeing anything so far. Apple, again, for me personally, like I'll continue to sell rips here. Facebook is down. That looks good. All right, that's good for us so far. All right, let's see that continue to fall. I'm not seeing anything here on Tesla. Tesla is pretty much just pushing up into resistance right around 688. So we'll just watch that. Nvidia is pushing back up towards 202. There's a level, and then there's another level at 202. At 205. So look for Nvidia to maybe lose the 200 level before you step back into puts there. So if you want to trade Nvidia to the downside, look for the 200 level to be broken before stepping back in. Again, like I said with Apple, I'm just looking to sell rips. So any Apple rip, I'm just looking to sell it, or that means buy puts. You can start taking a look at next week's puts or 2 weeks out. So that means August 27 or September 3rd. All right, NEO's push back towards 37. That's okay for right now. Let me see what else we got going. AMC just still dancing a little sideways. Let's see what else we got. All right, Beyond starting to melt down a little bit, breaking down below 115. Let's see if that can't fall towards 110. I'm gonna be pissed if Beyond hits 110 today, because I cut my my Beyonds. I cut them in profit, so I can't be too mad. But I cut my little Beyond puts that I had earlier in the week, and I'm gonna be mad if it hits 110 today. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna be hot. All right, SPY, we want to watch here. Let me zoom in a bit. 441. All right, SPY, we want to watch 441. We want to see if price is going to stay inside of this range here from 441 to 437. If we break above 441 and we kind of hold it clearly, I think we're starting to attempt to push higher. But if we get rejected back off of this level again, it's probably going to be serious. So we just got to wait and see. All right, 3 minutes into the day, Tesla is still at the resistance level there around 688. Nvidia is starting to break below 200, so keep your eye on that. All right, we want to see Planeteer get above 25 today, if possible. That would be nice. We want to see NEO back below 37 and then back below 34. But I believe we bought these contracts with a little bit of time, so I'm not too panicked about this. It likes to do this bullshit. All right. It likes to do this shit. Now, when it's going up, it's like no pullback. It's just straight go. Right. But when it goes down, it likes to give you a bunch of bullshit ass pump fake looks. All right. So anyway, that's just me complaining. All right. Nvidia back below 200, so keep your eye on that. Tesla potentially may be a good short here off of 688, which is resistance level. So consider, maybe Tesla Lottos, probably 650s, I would think now at this point. 650s, 660s. Facebook back above 355. Remember, there's a level at 355.64, so we're really just fighting with that right now. What else we got? I'm not really seeing a lot. I'm more or less just kind of watching prices, and I know levels in my head, so I'm not really flipping through a whole bunch of charts. But everything is kind of doing what it did yesterday. Opened up, a little push higher, and then shit rolled over. So that's kind of what I'm looking for today. I think the wise move would be, hold on real quick. Let me look at a couple of scanners. I think the move for me today is going to be to really watch SPY very closely and just more or less just kind of keep my eyes on that. If SPY starts to roll over, then it's going to be clear the rest of the market will lose confidence and it'll probably tumble pretty hard. My thinking is that with it being Friday and it being kind of a turbulent week, the market will probably be less risky. You know what I mean? It won't want to hold risk over the weekend. So I'm expecting for prices to roll over today because of that. Number one, because it's Friday. Number two, because we still got a bunch of uncertainty in the market. And then number three, you know, the market is going to really take its lead from SPY. So if SPY rolls over, then I'm pretty sure everything else is going to tank. So for right now, just continue to be patient and trade off of your levels, and don't take anything unless you got a reason to. So, Baba, Young Mix. I went over Baba already, bro, but it was a no trade for me. We looked at it earlier. Let's take a look again. All right. We are getting a gap up. Like, unless this is a gap up off of news, like, did Baba have any news or anything like that? If it did, then maybe that's a potential reason to hop into this. But for now, this is a no trade. Because there's no bullish candle that's really telling us that, hey, price is reversing direction and going to head up the other way. If anything, this is really just profit taking from the bears making so much damn money, right? Because this thing was at 200 and it got smacked down to 160 in like 2 weeks, so that's a big ass move. So what you would think is that eventually the bears are going to run their money. They're going to take their profits. This will pull up as a result of that, but it's really still bearish though. You know what I'm saying? So, if you wanted to take a speculative call here with just the thought process of profit taking coming in, then okay, I can maybe get behind that for some reasoning. If that was the case, I would look for this gap to be filled here at 172. So maybe I would look at 172 calls for next week. I couldn't even play this week's and feel comfortable. All right. But if you wanted to potentially play this, that makes sense. And the thought process would be this. You see this big move down here? Boom, we had a nice little up move. That's just profit taking. All right. You see this little down move here? Boom, that's just profit taking. All right. When price pushed up. All right. And then rolled right back over. So I could see that here. Just a down move. Now we got some profit taking from those that were short. And then price probably moves back up to around 175 and then rolls back over. All right, let me just take a look back at these charts again. Neo back below 37. So that's headed the right direction. Nvidia still underneath 200. SPY's holding underneath its level at 441. Tesla still at resistance at 688. Hood, we still are thinking this falls to 40. Facebook is still fighting with 355. And Beyond is up a little bit, probably a little bit more of the same thing. So, all right, guys, that's it. Anybody want me to take a look at anything else? I'm thinking this is going to be more of a trade, maybe the first hour in the morning. So probably another, 40 minutes or so for things to really kind of shake people out and clear up. And then I would think that by the end of the day, things should be crystal clear. All right, so my expectations is that we have a down day again, but we'll see what happens. All right. Let's take a quick look at the market watch before I shut it down. And last chance, if anybody wants me to look at anything, let me know in the chat before I start to wrap it up. All right, let's take a look at the New York Stock Exchange real quick here. Let me go over to that. All right. I mean, this is nothing really today. So you saw Baba. Baba is the greenest in consumer discretionary, but it didn't really do shit. Right? So, so that's trash. Energy still getting smacked. IT is, the names that you want to see in IT to go up, you're not seeing. It doesn't look like banks are recovering just quite yet. So yeah, guys, just continue to stay cautious and continue to stay patient. And, Boeing is green and that one's still pretty much down today. There's nothing really happening. This is all weakness, to be honest, in my opinion, more weakness. So continue to stay, keep your head on a swivel, keep an open mind, and stay patient and just wait for your moves, wait for your setups, and try not to get too overextended. But still liking my Facebook puts. Hopefully we can break 355 in a second and stay below it. Still looking for Apple to get back under 147, and then I'm looking for 145 today. However, if you want to try 145 for next week, I'm all about that life. And what else we got? I think that's it for now. Last chance. Anybody want me to take a look at anything else? All right. I'm going to move my services over to the chat and start really just calling out updates and stuff from there as the rest of the market goes this morning. You guys have a blessed day. I'm feeling good about what we're in. Let's just see if things don't play out our way. I wish I was hear from my BT. All right, Sam Hunter. Where's my boy Kendo at, man? I want to see what he looking at. I know that's Mr. Lucky. I haven't seen him on the chat. Tell Kendo to show up, y'all. All right. We looked at this one earlier already, Sam Hunter. The thought process is that this is bullish, right? This is a bull flag. We wanted to see price get above yesterday's high, which we gapped above it. So that's definitely bullish. However, we're still in the middle of the bands, right? So we can't get too beside ourselves with excitement. What we have to do is really now just kind of play things level to level. I would be looking for price to potentially push up towards this 1388. And if we can get a close above that, then I'd be looking for the upper band at 15.25. And if we can get a close above that, then boom, we're all money in and we hop back in this thing to ride it to the upside. But by the end of the day, depending upon how some of the other crypto names look, I'll take a brief check in on Riot real quick here. Let's look at this. Let me flip back over to Pfizer as well. All right, same type of thing here with Riot. Remember, I was thinking that price could potentially head up towards 35 there today. I'm not sure if we'll get that, but we'll watch it. With Pfizer, remember the level to watch is 50.42. It could just chop around sideways here, but if we break above 50.42, then we can get bullish on Pfizer. Until then, ignore it, I would say. All right. Now, Mara, I think Mara really has the cleanest and the best chart of all these crypto names. This would be the one that I would be interested in if we decide to hop back into crypto. All right, this would be my pick. I would go with Mara, me personally. The chart's been moving real clean, and it's been giving us some real solid setups. Support and resistance levels have been very clear, and this would be my pick. All right, so if we do hop back into crypto, your boy B is going to be looking at hopping into Mara, the marathon. Let the marathon continue. You dig? All right, let's take a look at Coin. Coin is the weakest of all of the crypto names, but at the same time, it's also the biggest as far as price wise. Like, it's $300 as opposed to like 20 or 30. So there could be value here for sure, especially buying underneath the 155 when price gets back above it. I mean, that's when, really you're going to get buyers that are going to step in aggressively. But I can't do nothing with this right here. All right. I can't do nothing with that. All right. I'm looking back at the market. I'm not really seeing much has changed. Everything is still pretty close to about where I left it a few minutes ago. So just got to continue to give it more time for it to play all the way out. Remember PayPal, we're watching 271.72. If we can get above 271.72 and we can hold that level today, then we'll go ahead and step into September 17, 300 calls that were last priced at around 96 cents. So we'll take a look at that. Outside of that, everything else, hands off, chill. Now, we do need to notice that SPY has broken back above 441. We need to see it hold above 441 today. Let me zoom into this. All right, we need to see this hold. All right, and if it holds, then boom, now the market is going to push higher. So maybe what we do is we step into SPY calls. All right, but for right now, I'm still just observing. Even though we're above this level by like 40 cents, I mean, that's nothing. This is a $400 name, right? So I'm not going to trip over pennies. All right, so we'll just continue to observe that. But that's it. That's it. All right, guys, if anybody has any additional questions or anything, let me know in the chat. I'd love to go over anything for you there. And then outside of that, just be patient. Everything's setting up. Let's let it work itself out. And hopefully we have a big day, a big profitable day before it's all over. All right. All right, everybody. Be blessed. Have a great morning. And again, let me know if anything comes up.